I'm here talking with the Secretary of the ETU, Dean Mighell. Dean, the conference, the biannual Shop Stewards ETU conference, what are the main issues that you're covering?
Well, it's a great opportunity for us. Every 2 years we get our stewards together, and you get over 300 to 400 stewards together, and you get a whole lot of ideas and a whole lot of experiences. We combine those, we get a whole lot of guest speakers, lawyers, industrial experts, people who do workplace study and research, and give them a whole lot of information about what's going on and how it affects them. And of course, you get this fantastic feedback from your stewards, which is critically important to how you shape your union.
Yeah, with the panel discussion that you just had, on stewards are able to get up and express their point of view about things. What did you see were the main ideas that came out of that discussion?
Well, I think you start to see, it's not just our stewards, I think you get the same from many workers, because you're very frustrated with Howard's laws the way they work now. If there's issues that come up your workplace, your steward's sacked, they bring in contractors to undercut you, whatever your case may be, you're not allowed to do anything to defend yourself. You're not allowed to take industrial action, otherwise you risk penalty of the worker, the steward, the union, and so on. And you can no longer go to Industrial Relations Commission, because all the powers the Commission would have had to help you enforce your agreement are now taken from them. So you're trying to have to then justify running off to the federal court, and it's a lot of time and a lot of money. And I think people are very frustrated. They've had their hands tied behind their back and their boss is free to hit them. And I think we're just sick of that. And I think that's the importance of getting some political change later this year.
Yeah, I noticed that the amalgamation issue came up. It was just suggested by a shop steward on the floor.
Yep.
That will come up again for a lot of unions. How do you view that? How do you view amalgamation?
We probably, as far as the ETU goes, probably wouldn't be seeking to amalgamate with anyone, but rather than see some unions die, they're best to amalgamate and ensure that workers are still represented by a union. A bit like New Zealand, I think, where a lot of unions collapsed financially, membership base had gone. Unions are under a lot of pressure in this country, make no mistake. So, it may well be something that is considered more strongly down the track, but the amalgamation experience of the 80s wasn't necessarily a good one.
A lot of unions having to cater to a lot of different interests and thereby losing a single voice, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you see a lot of really good, strong unions, the Nurses Federation, the ANF, they're devoted to nursing, they're devoted to understanding their membership issues really, really well, and they've grown and they're a strong union. And we like to think of ourselves in a similar light, where we understand our members, we understand what they do, we pitch to their occupational interests, and I think there's a real strength in that. I think if you just get too broad, you do lose that. And I think that's a real risk that we face with amalgamations that maybe aren't right.
And how much do AWAs affect electricians?
Not much. We're being very strong at having a high membership density out there in the industry. We've resisted AWAs. Electricians are still in demand, so it's very hard for bosses to actually offer an electrician an AWA that takes away their 36-hour week or takes away their severance pay or all these things, because they're simply going to take their labour elsewhere. If there was high unemployment, they would be smashing all sorts of working conditions, as they are in some other industries.
So if we continue with a Liberal government through a projected economic downturn, those sorts of things would affect industries where there's high density union membership and that are currently where labour's in demand.
Oh, definitely. Unemployment is all about workers competing against other workers for jobs. And of course, if there's high unemployment, people will do whatever it can to feed their family and pay the rent and do all those sort of things. So there's no doubt in my mind that if there was high unemployment combined with Howard's changes, you would see, and still could well see, a massive reduction in income for any Australian working family.
Dean Mighell, thank you for your time.
No worries, Deb. We'll see you in the trenches.
The conference is obviously, I learned a lot, more than what I thought I'd get out of it. Exceptionally detailed with all the guest speakers.
I thought it was very informative. I think that, I think it just reinvigorates why we're here.
It's fantastic. Julia Gillard spoke very well, I thought. Dean Mighell spoke well again. John Buchanan, he had some great views. It's a really good day, excellent day.
Yeah, it was terrific. The speakers were fantastic, and we've all learned a lot.
Inspiring, and I think the union movement is ready for action against the Howard government.
Today's conference was informative. I think going forward, I think getting out of the future would be if the Liberal government gets in, we're pretty well stuffed, so we better not vote for them.
When Howard gets kicked out in another few months, we should be right.
It really gives us a good platform to work from for the future.
Yeah, the future. Hopefully it's a future worth looking out for.
Well, I think we'll get a lot out of it because our biggest downfall, I think, has been communication in between different sites and stuff like that, and if we're all speaking the same language and the phone trees and the email trees up and running, well then we can talk to a lot of people at the same time, so it's going to be great. What do you think, Wayne?
Agree with 100%. Actually enough.